In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Welcome to bib438 as we get ready to start this class, which is going to be an overview of the Bible, and this is where we begin. In the beginning. That is the opening line to the Bible. It's a very big book. In fact, oftentimes referred to as a book of books, which makes interpreting and understanding the Bible sometimes very complicated and sometimes very confusing. So as we set out for this task over the course of the next few weeks to better get to understand how the Bible has come together, what is actually in the Bible, what is the overarching message of the Bible for me and you, that becomes the task for us. So we'll begin right here in the very opening stanza of the Bible. For those who are new to the Bible, that happens to be the opening in Genesis 1:1. Genesis is the first book in the Bible, and referring to chapter 1, verse 1 is the very beginning of that opening book. And so we'll begin here, and for this week, look at the foundations that the Bible is built upon. In this opening chapter, I don't want to get too far into the chapter yet, simply to say welcome, but in this opening chapter, we're going to find that this book of books has many different, not only themes, but many different genres or literary types of material to work with. Each of these genres or types of material have their own rules and how it is that we can best understand and interpret them. So one of the first questions we have to ask as we come to a specific text would be, what type of genre is it that we're dealing with? In this opening lines that come to us in Genesis 1:1 is a unique set, seems to be rather sounding like a theological song or perhaps a poem, if you would, as you begin to open it up and hear how it has a rhythm, has a rhyme, has a cadence to it all its own, wraps up this seven-day structure, but each day has its own structure, and each structure kind of reflects on the structure of the day previous. And so in the midst of this opening poem, we're going to see something about the meaning of life captured in this story of where everything came from and by whose hand everything came to be. So we'll begin here at Genesis 1:1. We'll read this week through most of the book of Genesis, and that'll be our starting place. Looking at these early types and genres, whether it be poetry, narrative, and other types of literary materials that we'll be dealing with here in the book of Genesis. And in these ancient stories, we'll see that not only is there the backstory for the history of salvation that we'll be reading about as we move through the Bible, but also I believe the author of Genesis' intent was that we would begin to see some of our own backstory as well, that we would find our place in the midst of this larger story. And that's why we begin here at the book of Genesis. So we'll be looking at a lot of different things throughout the Bible. As you look at your syllabus, you will note that we're going to be taking the Bible and not reading the entirety of it, but touching on some of the primary themes. And in those themes, we will see some of the various types of structure or types of genres of material that are that are found in the Bible. And hopefully by seeing themes, structures, and how it all fits together, we'll all have a better understanding of how we can now make the Bible more applicable to ourselves, both during the class and once the class is concluded as well. So my name is John Motz. I'm the professor for this class. I'm excited to get started with you as we begin right here in the beginning. Okay? Have a great week, and we'll get started.